Okay, I'm going to watch the dev vision. I'll give you my thoughts on it along the way.
Hello everyone, Guangguang here. It's great to be back with you all. After 3 epic seasons, the storm at the center of the time string entanglement has finally swept to the ancient East. The capital cities of heaven, led by Kunlun, can no longer hide away in their pocket dimensions. The shifting currents of time have drawn these realms together, forming the heart of heaven. The immortal dragon, Shoulao, lies frozen in time, deep in slumber, creating the perfect opportunity for Dr. Doom to execute his sinister plans. The heart of heaven's convergence also allows us to finally bring together story threads we've been weaving since Season 0, such as the mystery of the baby Iron Fist adopted, who has attracted her sister, the Hand of Heaven, once Asgard's assassin, Angela. Also, we unveiled that the ruler of the 8th city, Di Zhang, is none other than Daredevil, who sacrificed everything in a war between gods and demons to cleanse the souls of the lost and give humanity a fighting chance. With angels and devils locked in conflict, and Doom's scheme brewing in the shadows, the fate of Kunlun rests on its guardians, and whether they truly possess the heart of the dragon. For Season 4, we are excited to first introduce our newest hero, Angela, the One-Winged Angel. As a vanguard and a formidable warrior, she can shape her icons, a type of living fluid, into various weapons, wielding them with unparalleled skill. Angela can take the fight to the skies, transforming her icons into a razor-sharp spear, diving into enemy lines, and opening up opportunities for her team. In times of danger, she can morph her weapon into a shield to block incoming damage. And when the moment is right, she descends from above, transforming her spear into dual axes to crush foes and protect her allies. This update introduces an all-new team-up ability, removes one, and welcomes new members to 2 existing team-ups. Zhiyong will provide a detailed breakdown shortly. Our new Convergence mode map.
With the announcement of Angela, since then, the video of her has come out, so I'm going to quickly switch over to that so we can watch that too.
My birth and past are tainted. I fight to reclaim them each day. Straight to hell! Glorious! Thoughts and prayers! Blessed blades! To battle! Feathered fury! Now is the time for salvation! Cavern! Fall!
That ultimate actually looks pretty powerful, and it'll be interesting to see how the tank dynamic changes with a tank that can actually fly and sort of get to locations that other tanks previously couldn't. A big problem that they have in terms of game design on the tank side was just a lack of accessibility to deal with some of those targets that were harder to reach or harder to hit. And if she can fly and get up close to them and tank all that damage, then it'll be interesting to see how that might shift team comps and might shift tanks' perspectives, or the people playing tank, if they felt like they had an option to deal with all of those flyers or hard to reach people, especially having mobile tanks and stuff like that, because she does seem extremely mobile, and the ultimate does actually seem pretty good. But once again, with all this stuff, any new hero, anything like that, it's impossible to say without knowing, without getting your hands on it. So I'm reserving any sort of feelings I might have until I actually get my hands on it and play it, but she looks pretty cool.
Overconfidence will destroy you.
Okay, overall, really excited for her. I think she looks dope. I think it'll be cool. So, we need more tanks, we need more strategists. So that's a welcome addition, especially one that can deal with flyers. Anyway, back to the video.
Heart of Heaven launches on September 25th. Get ready for a whole new battleground. Season 4 is also bringing a major update to arcade mode. Fan favorites like Clone Rumble and Giant-Size Brain Blast are coming back and will be permanent. We are also introducing Free Fight, a mode with no restrictions on duplicate heroes, and a Conquest, Annihilation mode where you rack up points while chaos. Conquest, Doom Match, Conquest, Annihilation, Free Fight, Giant-Size Brain Blast, and Clone Rumble will all be accessible from a single arcade mode hub. You can queue for one mode or several at once, making it easier than ever to jump in and play how you want.
I think that's an interesting idea because of the fact that when you split up game modes, the problem you come in contact with is that you typically don't want to offer players too many options because then there's not enough people queuing up to like make the queue time shorter. So a lot of times you don't want to have too many modes, but by having one singular arcade mode hub, but being able to select multiple arcade mode games that you want to play, that simultaneously helps the queue times while still giving players like options. So I think that that's a really good idea. I think that that was well planned. I don't know how much of the overlap is between like quick play, arcade, and ranked. I feel like the people who play ranked generally kind of stick to ranked. So such as myself, like I don't usually find myself too much in the arcade modes, but it'll be interesting to see if that hopefully brings back players who are looking for a more like fun, wacky arcade mode type time that's not as like sweaty as ranked or even how quick play can be sometimes.
The highly anticipated Summer Special Volume 2 lands on September 18th. Bringing fresh summer costumes and cosmetics
Are we finally getting the Punisher Speedo?
to help you beat the heat.
I think the Mantis one actually looks really cool too, by the way. I think that one, out of all of them, I think that one might be my favorite. The Human Torch, the socks and the sandals thing is just, it's getting to me.
Style. Custom Ultimate Ability VFX have been a hit with players, and we've seen lots of discussion about making these effects visible to everyone. So, starting from Season 4, Custom Ultimate Ability VFX will be visible to all players. Of course, we're adding an option to let you hide other players' custom effects, so you prefer.
I think that that's a really good idea. I don't really mind seeing the custom effects, but I can understand that if you wanted consistency so you not to get confused, to be able to turn that off. So it's good they went both ways with that. Especially because you might pay good money for Ultimate VFX and you want to show it off.
We are rolling out a new batch of adorable accessories for Magneto, Scarlet Witch, Cloak and Dagger, and Luna Snow. This will be available after the September 25th update.
I'm personally not big on accessories. I think they feel kind of clunky on the hero skins, like they don't belong. But yeah, I mean, some of them are cute little things. It just seems like something else for players to have and customize. But yeah, definitely not something I usually pay too much attention to myself.
With our hero roster growing, we are adding a favorite bar. Now you can pin your most played heroes and quickly find them during hero select.
The hand of heaven is here. Show some respect.
That's a great quality of life add-on to have introduced to the game, especially if you want to do something just like quick in comp, especially if it can stay that way. So that way, if you just wanted to like switch between heroes quickly, like you might want to put Strange in there in case you need a fast TP, or put Captain America or somebody else who can get to the point faster, just in case it happens to be in like OT or something. I think that would be really handy.
We also heard how much you love slow working for the superhero aura farming, so we are bringing hero slow work support to PC. During Season 4, we are also introducing a gallery card download feature. Players can now save high-definition resources to their devices by selecting Inspect on a card's page.
That might be really helpful for making thumbnails, not gonna lie.
Also, to help you better express yourself, starting September 18th, you'll be able to customize your chat text color and add animated emojis. Our costume trial program for university students has proven to be very popular. So for Season 4, we are rotating in a new batch of 10 costumes and MVPs. University students can unlock these perks by verifying their school email address. Please note that existing perks enjoyers will also need to re-verify, so don't miss out. And don't
So the student like college, bonuses for people in college campuses and stuff, those people typically aren't going to have as much disposable income as, of course, like grown adults might. So what he's doing there, I believe, is to try and get more people playing the game, because the more people that play the game, the better the matchmaking is. The more you get more people into the game. So by reaching out to students who typically have less income but might be able to have more time to play, like I think that that's a really smart idea that other games should probably pick up on, because games need players in order to have decent matchmaking. Realistically, you want to have as many players as possible, so that way you can have a more accurate matchmaking that is also much quicker. As time has gone on, as Marvel Rivals has slowly lost players, we've seen the queue times go up before where they were instant because, you had more people to pull from. And now with less people to pull from, you need to do things to try and bring them back. So anything that you can do to try and bring players back, bonuses, positive reinforcement, skins, whatever. Like, I think that they need to do more of that. And, I think that part of what they need to do, honestly, is not just only focus on like banning the people who are problematic in the game that make the game unfun, but that's important as well. But also reward people for who might get a lot of thumbs up after the game, right? Who don't get reported very often, if ever. Give some sort of positive incentive to be like, hey, every time someone gives you a thumbs up or whatever, like you get like 5 chrono tokens or whatever. Offer some sort of incentive or reward to be a decent person in game, because I think we need to see more of that. And I'm trying to do that, just to influence even the people who watch me. Like, hey, like, I understand your teammates can be frustrating. I understand that they can be, toxic or bad or whatever. I get frustrated too, but like, don't flame your teammates. And, when somebody on the enemy team, they hit a good shot on you or something, compliment them. Say, hey, that was a, nice shot. Like, I have to admit, I got outplayed there. Like, bring back some of that good sportsmanship, compliment your enemies when they make a nice play. I know we all want to win. I know we're all trying to do, to rank up and to do better and improve. But there's no reason that we can't sit there and just be nicer to each other and kinder to each other online and in the game spaces. And just as long as everyone's trying their best, then that should be all that matters, right? So, I kind of want us to get more of that back. So if we can get any sort of positive reinforcement, either from the game devs or even from, us trying to do better ourselves, then I think we need to do that. Because Marvel Rivals is a fun game. It's just, I understand that sometimes people in the game can make it not so fun.
Don't forget, the Ignite Series tournament continues in September. Factions from 5 major regions will battle for a spot in the year-end finals. Stay tuned to our website and socials for more updates. Now, I'll hand it over to Zhiyong, who's ready to dive into all the details about team-up ability changes and balance updates for Season 4.
Hey Rivals, Zhiyong here. Happy to see you all again. Time flies. Season 3 is drawing to a close, and the brand new Season 4 is right around the corner. Guangguang has already unveiled some exciting new content, and now I'm here to walk you through the changes to team-up abilities and balance updates coming in Season 4.0. Let's dive into what's new and what's changing with team-up abilities. A brand new team-up arrives, Divine Armory. Angela takes center stage as the anchor of this team-up, sharing fragments of her anchors with her brother, Thor. This gives him the ability to throw a Thunder Spear that restores Thor force upon hit. Afterward, Thor can leap to the spear's impact point, dealing a second wave of damage to all enemies within range. First, Dimensional Shortcut is being banished to Limbo and completely removed from play. Next, Magic joins Arcane Order, gaining a new ability. She can unleash a train of Citarac that links two enemies and slows them. The farther they are apart, the greater the slow effect inflicted during the link. Finally, Gamma Charge welcomes a new member, Black Panther. His vibranium armor now gets a boost from gamma energy. When his HP drops below a certain threshold, he automatically activates a gamma shield to block incoming damage.
I'm not sure why they nerfed Black Panther's survivability, but then gave him a bubble which auto happens as soon as he gets low, so he doesn't even need to activate it. All I'm seeing is that, Hulk was already one of those things that you would frequently want banned because of the fact that a good Hulk player could really run a lobby, especially where I'm at. And having that with the team up with Namor is really annoying because it just feels like all you do all game is just spent the entire time shooting squids. So having a team up with Hulk, Namor, and BP, I feel like team composition wise, that really benefits a team if they can hit all of those, and it would be really frustrating to play into. So I feel like, if anything, it's just going to make Hulk a permaban next season, and I kind of wish they'd stop giving Hulk so many team-ups with people, because he's just one that's frequently banned, and it's not just because Hulk is difficult to deal with, but he was already difficult to deal with if there was a good Hulk player, but he always has some of the best team up abilities, and I kind of just feel like for Hulk players, they probably don't want their hero to keep being permabanned, so I wish they would stop giving him so many great team ups. Put some other anchor in there.
With Season 3 and the first half of Ignite wrapped up, we've collected tons of combat data from all kinds of matches. The addition of Phoenix and Blade, along with changes to team-up abilities, kept the meta evolving during the season. Let's start with our new heroes. As a mobile hit-scan hero, Phoenix excels at both frontline damage and flanking harassment. Combined with the powerful mechanics of her ultimate ability, she can deliver some truly jaw-dropping plays. Bringing a unique anti-heal mechanic to the game, Blade is still finding his place. Considering this, we took a cautious approach to his power level, so he needed some team support to shine. We will keep monitoring Blade and look forward to seeing new strategies and camps built around him after his upcoming tweaks.
It's really difficult when you're introducing entirely new gameplay mechanics to understand how it's going to play out. I know people get frustrated. They're like, oh, how can it be released like this when either it's so weak or it's so strong? But the truth is that what you find internally when you're playing amongst 100, 200 people maybe in your studio or who can play, it's very different from when it gets sent out to the millions and then people figure out how to either break things even farther or how to exploit things, because if there's any sort of exploit, you can for sure bet that players are going to find out about it and they're going to use it if they can. So with anti-heal and lifesteal on the same hero, I understand probably them wanting to take a more cautious approach. And I know people sit there and think oh, this hero sucks, it's terrible. But we got to remember Torch was also terrible when he was released, and now he's a permaban hero. So they'll make tweaks, they'll make adjustments, and it'll happen in time. But I think everyone just needs to be a little bit more patient a lot of times when it comes to the balance changes, because of the fact that I'm sure that there's probably a reason that Phoenix wasn't hit in the patch notes. Players might be frustrated playing against her, but her win rate might also not really reflect that she's doing as well as we think. So maybe there's a reason why, and they're trying to specifically figure out what would make it feel more fair to play against, but also still, the person playing as Phoenix, be able to get value out of them. I don't know. That's my only guess though, but we'll have to wait and see what the win rates say. It is kind of interesting that Torch and Phoenix weren't really touched at all. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe there's something in the win rates that tells us more.
Now, let's talk about team comps. We've seen teams anchored by Emma Frost, Magneto, or Doctor Strange at the front, with Venom, Captain America, and flankers like Human Torch, Psylocke, or Black Panther to charge into the backline of the enemy, launching multi-angled attacks. Triple Vanguard comes for sustained fights, and triple strategies comps centered on Adam Warlock for rest, or Ultron have also emerged.
And I don't know if you watched my video on running 3 tanks on Convoy on defense, but if you have, I have had great success with that this season. And I wish that people understood more that DPS are not what leads you to wins. A lot of times it's having tanks. I would rather have 3 tanks than 3 DPS personally, because of the fact that tanks control the objective. And this is an objective-based game. I think that people get too caught up thinking that kills are what matters, so they automatically assume DPS. But tanks are important. always try to have at least 2 tanks in every single team composition. If not, and you're running defense, 3 tanks can sometimes work too, because you're holding the objective for longer, and that's what matters. So yeah, don't be like, if you're a DPS player and you don't have any tanks in your hero pool, I highly recommend everybody have at least like 1 tank in their hero pool that they're comfortable on, so that way they can pull it out for those moments. And because defense and holding the objective really is about having in the health pool to do so. So yeah, don't be sleeping on the 3 tank strategy.
We are thrilled to see players explore so many different lineups and keep the battlefield fresh. And finally, a quick note on individual hero performance. In lower ranks and quick match, easy to pick up heroes like Squirrel Girl, Iron Man, and Cloak and Dagger have high pick rates and strong performance. Emma Frost, Captain America, Psylocke, Black Panther, Luna Snow, and Loki also stand out as strong picks. In Season 4.0, we will be making tactic balance changes to some of these heroes to encourage more diverse selections.
I've already seen some of the patch notes for this. Cap loses his 5% anchor buff. Psylocke loses her shuriken damage from 12 down to 8, which is pretty significant. I think the last one was like 14 to 12. So that's a pretty significant nerf to her burst combo damage. So it'll be interesting to see how the team comps shake up now that where changing things like Luna's ult time is being reduced from 12 to 10. I don't know if that's enough, but it's better than nothing. Loki's being nerfed, and Penny's ult is getting buffed, Thor's ult is getting buffed, Angela's being included. Like, there's a lot of things that are happening right now that, even though it might look scary on paper, I am always encouraging people to withhold their opinions until they get a chance to play the patch and see how the game plays as a whole. There's no way for us to really know, and like being in the practice range is also not a great way to really know for sure. It's how the game feels when everything is combined together, right? When it's in its natural setting. Even though I'm a Psylocke player and a Cap player, and I got nerfed, and Magic lost her, her anchor bonus. A lot of the heroes that I play got hit, but that's just how it is. I would, considering how stale it's been with the lack of other heroes, I am okay with these changes, and we'll see where they go. Strange was nerfed a bunch of times, and then he got a bunch of buffs, so it might just be, maybe it might be rough for a little while, maybe it might be a little bit more difficult, and maybe they'll buff her later, or maybe everything will be fine. I don't know. Let's just wait and see how it plays out afterwards before freaking out or anything.
Now, let's talk about our approach to balance in Season 4.0. First up, Vanguards, we've heard your feedback, and we want to give some certain heroes more room to shine. In this patch, both Penny Parker and Thor will see some improvements to their ultimate abilities, giving them more playmaking potential. Doctor Strange is also getting an appropriate boost to his offensive power. On the other hand, we are dialing back Emma Frost and Captain America just a bit. Now,
I know a lot of people are sitting there wondering, oh, why Cap? It seems out of nowhere. To the people who play Captain America, like myself, I think we understand exactly why he's getting nerfed a little bit, because, the stuff that I have been able to get away with sometimes has felt unfair, especially when you have good game sense and you're ult tracking, who's got their ults, especially on the support roster. I have just been absolute terror in the backline to a lot of teams, so I totally can see and understand why Cap was nerfed a little bit, as well as alongside Emma.
Next, let's dive into our duelists. Scarlet Witch, Blade, and Moon Knight are all receiving buffs, making them stronger and more competitive.
I don't remember what Scarlet Witch's were, but I really do think they just need to make her left click less easy to track and just give it a slight buff and damage, and that would probably make her better.
At the same time, we are making a few tactical nerfs. Squirrel Girl's long-range poke is being turned down. Black Panther's survivability is being somewhat reduced.
I don't know if that's going to be enough. I still think that the problem with BP's kit is just the way that his kit works. It's an anti-fun kit to play into. It's only fun for BP players. So even though he'll be less survivable, he'll die more often, but I don't know if that will be enough to convince players that it's still not a frustrating thing to go up against. I was watching Coach Mills today, and he's a BP player, and he was playing Strange or whatever, and he's he died, and he's what did I die to? And I'm for a brief second you just saw BP just zip through the screen and delete him, and you never even saw him. So adding the trail didn't do anything. He's still annoying annoying to play into. I knew that wasn't going to do anything with how fast he was moving. And yeah, I still think the problem is that the kit is designed unlike anybody else in the rest of the game, where it's just, he gets to just press his buttons really fast and everybody else has to predict and, outplay their enemy by trying to guess their movements. And Black Panther is just like, I'm going to press my buttons faster than you can, and then I'm going to delete you, or maybe you live. Either way, it's just like, it's not fun to play into. It's a very anti-fun game mechanic. So yeah, I think we'll see how this goes, but I still predict at some point he's just going to have to get a rework if he keeps being perma-banned.
And Cyrax's burst damage is getting a slight adjustment. Our goal here is to bring these heroes in line with the rest of the roster for a more balanced experience.
So basically, like, there's a lot of the other heroes just aren't being played, and that's been true, I think, for this season. It does kind of feel like you always see like the same heroes over and over again. Not a lot of the niche picks, and I would like to see more variety, more than anything on like the tank and strategist roster. That when those hero pools are already super limited, and it just feels like there's nothing else you can play except for the super easy value heroes like Luna, Invisible Woman, or Cloak and Dagger with their ultimates. Like we need more variety, because that helps make the game feel fresh, feeling like each game is different. Because yeah, when you're playing every single game and every single game is Loki Luna, like it gets really old really fast. So yeah, they're trying to get more variety, even if it means going maybe a little bit harder on like Psylocke or Cap or Emma or whatever else. Like we do need more variety in the team comps.
For our strategists, we want to expand your options and bring more diversity to the role. We are enhancing the ultimate abilities of Invisible Woman, Jeff the Rangerock, and Ultron, so you will have more powerful plays to work with. Luna Snow's ultimate ability duration will be shortened, while Loki will see a slight reduction in his sustained damage and healing. Of course, balance is always evolving. Some prominent heroes like Magneto, Phoenix, Cloak and Dagger, etc. aren't seeing changes in this patch.
I don't know how to feel about that. Like Magneto, honestly, Magneto and Cloak and Dagger don't feel all that oppressive to me. They're not all that difficult to deal with. It does feel like there's things you can do to play against them. Phoenix players have figured out how to like insta burst people through using little techs. I can see, especially in like high elo, it'd be really, really frustrating to people who have mastered that. So it's interesting that they kind of left her out of this patch. Magneto and Cloak and Dagger, I'm curious to see what they do, because the start of the season, I swear people were saying that Cloak and Dagger was a terrible support, and now she's lumped in there with Magneto and Phoenix. So I think player perception was a bit wrong on that one. I think she's just a well-rounded, versatile kit that allows you to deal with a lot of situations. She can deal with dive. She has a little bit mobility with her cloak fade. She's got good survivability, good healing, good ultimate. I think she's just all around a good character, and I think you're just going to have some of those. So I'll be curious to see what they do, but I don't know. I don't really have too much of a problem with Magneto or Cloak and Dagger myself, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
But we will continue to monitor the meta and watch hero performance closely after Season 4.0 goes live. And remember, this isn't the full list of changes. For all the details, check out our upcoming balance patch notes. We will also be sharing Season 3.5 pick and win rates very soon. After we released our matchmaking and ranking video, we saw a lot of discussions in the community, especially about the seasonal rank resets and placement matches. So, here's an update. We are already working on implementing placement matches, but it's a complex feature with a lot of moving parts, so we need more time for development and through testing. Placement matches won't be ready for Season 4, but we are pushing forward as quickly as we can. Please stay tuned to our official channels for the latest news. Ignite the battle!
Okay, so on the topic of placement matches, the game was built around the idea of not having placement matches, and that, grinding was their idea of saying like, hey, you just have to grind and keep trying to achieve that rank every single season. And the matchmaking, I don't even think necessarily might be bad. I think the matchmaking might actually be good in the sense that it's doing what it's supposed to do, right? Like if you are a plat player and you're plat 2, it is trying to match you with plat 3s and plat 1s and plat 2s and try to find people who are in the same rank, match the same in groups together and try and get something close. But the problem is the fact that because there's no placement matches and because everybody starts at the bottom and works their way up, there's a very huge differing skill levels of who might be in plat. There might be someone in plat currently that was, former Celestial or GM, and they just haven't played in a few weeks. There might be people in plat who are legitimately there who, that might be their highest rank ever. And so when you have matchmaking that's trying to put together people of similar ranks, like, it's doing its job. But the problem is, because of the ranks are so volatile and it's based off of making sure that everyone is playing all the time constantly, there's so many people, even such as myself, where we take breaks because we have other stuff to do, and then when we come back it's like, oh, I'm in platinum and I can easily climb up to GM, and it doesn't make the experience fun for anybody else who I was playing games with along the way. And I understand that. So when people are complaining about the matchmaking system, I think it's always been a problem of the placements. Like, once you have placements and it disperses people more accurately to where they're supposed to be, there takes less time for the season to go on before you start to feel like matchmaking's a bit more fair and it's not so like lopsided one way or the other. So I'm excited for that, but also at the same time, like, I want people to understand that introducing and adding placement matches, they actually did this really quick, in my opinion. Like, game studios are a lot of red tape. There's a lot of, corporate bullshit behind the scenes. Like, there are meetings for everything. It takes a long time, a lot of times, for studios to actually put forth the plan and make changes. And with what we're seeing from Marvel Rivals, they make changes really, really fast as a developer. The stuff that I've seen them add and implement based on player feedback in Marvel Rivals is wild to me. As someone who played Overwatch for 8 years, I was dying for them to just like make changes based off of player feedback, like add things that we wanted to see added. And it always felt like not only did it take forever for things to change, but they always went in a direction that I didn't agree with. And at least with Marvel Rivals, like, I'm still enjoying the game. I think it's a really fun game. I enjoy playing with my friends. The community can sometimes bring me down, but overall, I think the game is fun. And despite its design issues, there's a lot of great things about it, and they are making a lot of changes faster than most other companies would. So I feel bad for them and the whole like EOM discussion and all this other stuff where people are wanting to find something to blame, when to me it always has come back to the same thing of, I think the matchmaking's working as intended. We just, without placement matches, of course it's going to feel this way. So yeah. And also to top it off, like, there's no way to really learn how to play a hero shooter directly through the game. Like, there's nothing that teaches you how to play the game efficiently and how to play it correctly just by playing the game. You could play the game for months and might not ever improve. And that's the reason why, like I've said before, that's the reason why I started making videos, because I'm like, oh, this is something that the game is lacking, so I'm going to try and deliver it to you in a way that's much more easily understandable and digestible. So yeah, as long as there's placement matches, and I think there's content such as mine and other people who are out there, other creators who are trying to teach you how to play the game, I think that Marvel Rivals could do a lot better, and it could bring people back, especially with how quick they are to address issues where other games are not. I'm looking forward to the changes. I think it looks cool. We'll all have to wait and see how it plays, and I want everyone to do the same. Like, don't get too worked up over seeing patch notes if your heroes get nerfed. You always want to see how it plays, and I am a firm believer that you should always judge games based off of their gameplay, not off of anything else. So I'm looking forward to the changes. Angela looks cool. My heroes are getting nerfed, so I'm playing on hard mode next season, but I'm still going to be playing Sai. I'm still going to be playing Cap. I'll find a way to make it work. That's all I got. Placement matches are probably the thing I'm most excited for. Eventually, we have to give them time, because did create an entire game to work around the idea that you're just supposed to be grinding, and it's going to take time to implement an entirely new system. So give them a break on that one. I hope everyone still enjoys season 4 for what it is, and just enjoys the game still as I do. We'll have to see how it goes then.